All right, Commissioners, we're going to get started this morning. Welcome, everybody. Can y'all hear me okay out there? I think the microphone's working good. First off, we'll call the meeting to order, and then we'll have an invocation led by Reverend Brady Byard from Seal United Methodist Church. So if y'all will stand, that will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Reed.
Just right there, fine. Would you pray with me? Gracious and loving God, we give you thanks for this day. Lord, we give you thanks for the communities in which we get to live, serve, and work. And Father, we pray now that as we meet together as community members and as representatives, that your Spirit would guide us in our conversations and guide us in our decisions, Father, as we seek to make this place the best place for families and for individuals. Be with us now, God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Salute. I'll pledge. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. We do have some public comments. We have two listed on the sheet, sign in this morning. The first one will be Ms. Cassandra Smith about county roads. Ms. Smith? And Mr. Franklin's going to give you a microphone.
Good morning. My name is Cassandra Smith, and I'm calling about County Road 14 in Hurtsboro, Alabama, where the road is really, really bad. The water is standing in the ditches, and we want to know, can we get that road paved on Mayflower Drive?
That's in my district. We've talked about that road once before. I've had the superintendent go out and look at it, and based on what he told me, that's a private road.
Oh, okay.
So if it's a private road, we can't do anything to it unless you all do something to bring it up to par. Once that is done, then yeah, we can do something with it.
He's just not close.
Okay. We've had the, let me pull it down. We've had the superintendent to go out there and look at the road several times. I've got several calls on it. And it's my understanding that it is a private road.
Okay.
The road leading into that road, Mayflower, we do service. But the
Right.
road off of that, which you're talking about, is a private road.
I'm not talking about that's the road I'm talking about, Mayflower.
You're talking about Mayflower
Yes.
itself. But now that has not been reported to me. I don't know about
Okay.
Sean. So we can send somebody out and look at Mayflower.
Okay, yes.
But the
that's-
road off of that that's been reported is a private road.
Okay, yeah, I'm talking about Mayflower Drive.
Sean, would you?
I got her information. I just
Yeah.
talked to her and I told him I'd get somebody to go out there and look at it.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you for coming today, Ms. Smith. Next up, we have Mr. Leroy Davis. Leroy?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I just wanted to give a friendly reminder about the meeting next Thursday at 11 o'clock. Mr. Boswell from Montgomery, ADECA, will be here. I also invited Mr. Ronnie Davis from the executive of the Wiregrass. And the reason I invited him is because he sits on the state executive committee for bike trails, and he will be able to help us locate extra grant money. So I just wanted to give a reminder.
It'll be here.
He'll be here.
So just to make sure, that's Thursday the 18th, right?
Yes.
Okay, 11 o'clock.
Email.
All right, thank you.
Also.
All right, thank you. I believe that's all of our public comments now. Want to start off by saying thank you to our media partners, Cable TV, Stella Memo, TV Beam, and Citizen. Obviously, Tony's here every week, and also we are Facebook Live today for the people at home, so they can see our commission meetings and see the business of the county government. So glad to have all of those. Also, welcome to all our elected officials that are here today, that are either with us in the audience or that are watching us online as well. Appreciate all of you here, as well as the department heads and guests. The agenda was approved at the work session on Monday night, so Commissioners, you have the agenda in front of you. So at this point, we'll call a roll call and establish a quorum of the commission. Tina, please.
District 3 Costello.
Here.
District 5 Epps. Here. District 2 Chambers. District 7 Screws. District 4 Reed.
Here.
District 1 Lee.
Present.
District 6 Corbett.
Here. Thank you. Next up, you have in front of you the minutes from January 27, 2021. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Costello. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Reed. Any discussion? All right, we call the roll.
District 3 Costello.
Yes.
District 5 Epps.
Abstain.
District 2 Chambers. District 7 Screws.
Yes.
District 4 Reed.
Yes.
District 1 Lee.
Yes.
District 6 Corbett.
Yes, thank you. All right, under proclamations and resolutions, we have two resolutions that need to be signed by the commission if adopted, both or for MPO resurfacing projects. The first one is for County Road 24, Lato Road, the portion that is Lato Road from County Road 137 to, and the second one is the Tarver Road section, which is considered County Road 24 between County Road 39 and Lato Road. So luckily I know those. So I'll entertain a motion to approve those resolutions. We can take them at one.
Together.
Yes, sir.
I offer a motion that we approve the resolution.
Second.
All right, motion by Commissioner Screws, seconded by Commissioner Epps. Any discussion? I'll call the roll, please.
District 3 Costello.
Yes.
District 5 Epps.
Yes.
District 2 Chambers. District 7 Screws.
Yes.
District 4 Reed.
Yes.
District 1 Lee.
Yes.
District 6 Corbett.
Yes. Thank you. Next up, we want to give every meeting until we get to a little bit better place right now. We want to give an update on our COVID-19 vaccination programs inside Russell County. So our EMA Director, Mr. Franklin, can you do that for us today?
Sure, Commissioner. One thing I'd kind of like to go over is this was our numbers for a 14-day period at the last commission meeting. We were at 542 over a 14-day period, and our trend had been to stay steadily high. Currently, as of yesterday, we're at 249, so we've dropped 293 cases over a 14-day period, which we're going in the right direction. We still have a long way to go. We still want to ask people to wear their mask and social distance and wash your hands, but we're headed in the right direction as far as positive cases, and hopefully that's that big trend we had of high was from the holidays, and we're moving on from that. Currently, we've got vaccinations available at these locations that are listed here: Russell County Health Department, Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, the Regional Rehab Hospital, Jackson Point of Light Family Medicine, and the Preferred Medical Group in Fort Mitchell. These are all by appointment, and the appointments will be dependent upon the availability of the vaccine at those locations. We do know that the state has worked out an agreement with Walmart, and I haven't been able to get the confirmation yet that our Walmart here is going to be one of those, but we hope to know that here in the next day or two. Also, there's some other places that are going to come online soon, but currently our biggest holdup is, even though we've added more places you can get a vaccine, the number of vaccines that we receive into the county hasn't really changed. It will change some with Walmart. My understanding is the Walmart will be a direct federal vaccination. They'll get their vaccination straight from the federal government, so it won't come out of the Alabama allocation, so that will help us increase the number of people we can vaccinate. What we want to keep in mind is our current level that the state health has set who is eligible to receive the vaccine currently. That would be anyone who is 65 and over. Your frontline critical workers are listed as first responders, corrections officers, food and agricultural workers, postal service workers, manufacturing workers, grocery store workers, public transit workers, and people who work in the education sector, such as teachers and support staff in community colleges and higher ed, your child care workers and judiciary. That's the current list of people. That's state of Alabama, that's a little over 1 million people, and we're not getting that many vaccines in a week. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get through this group. Hopefully the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will be approved soon, and when it does and they can ramp up, then that will increase the number of doses. The other good thing about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is that's a single dose where the Madeira and the Pfizer are both take 2 doses to get you to where you need to be. And currently, I would say that the number of new vaccinations is going to be down some because we've got the first round of people who received the first vaccine are now due for their second vaccine. So they're having to go back through that same process. But there is enough increase that we are still vaccinating new people as well. It just won't be as many for the next couple of weeks. And then we'll get back to doing a lot more. And I know that we worked, we have one doctor's office that has worked out something with the both school systems to where they're going to try to work them in separately, try to get those folks on through so we can get our education systems running smooth and up and hopefully get our kids back to a normal school year before this is over with.
Commissioner Screws?
Mr. Franklin, I tried to get in touch with a gentleman to see if we could put the vaccine in Hurtsboro for those elderly people.
Yes, sir.
His name is Warren Wicks. I've called him several times, but he won't seem to call me back.
I don't know that gentleman, but I do know that we are working with public health. You know, we've got that community development block grant for Russell County of $500,000. And part of that, the committee that's working on that, how to spend that money, is wanting to purchase a trailer and things so that we can do Hurtsboro and Pittsview and those remote locations where people can't make it all the way into Phoenix City. They don't come into town that often, or if they do, they have to have somebody bring them. So we are working that. It's going to take a little bit of time, a couple more weeks, I'm sure. But we are working on getting something down that way to where we can vaccinate those folks as well.
You know, Hurtsboro has a clinic.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and the clinic is big enough to handle the vaccinations, you know.
Yeah.
And Ms. Baker, who's over the clinic, said that she would be willing to do it, but they only have the 2 people, so they will need someone
Right.
to administer the vaccination.
And we can probably get volunteers. We're working on getting those. Do you know, and I can get with you offline about this, but whether or not they have a freezer or any storage capacity down there?
I didn't ask,
All right.
but it seemed like we ought to be able to purchase a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Well, there's only about, I'm saying, I'm gonna say 700, 800 folks.
Yeah.
That's in Hurtsboro.
Yes, sir.
So, but we'll talk after the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions, Mr. Franklin, on that report? All right, next up in discussion is the sanitation board meeting. That's supposed to be report, not project. So sanitation board meeting report. As the chair of the commission, I also chair the sanitation board. We had a very good meeting on Thursday. Several good reports in there. One was report by our engineer, who's also the interim director of sanitation, who gave a report on being able to purchase some new equipment and trying to get it on a rotation basis where we continue to keep good quality equipment there that we're not constantly having to pay heavy maintenance fees on, or maintenance costs on. So I think that report went well. Another report that came out of there, the board did vote and requested that we maintain, especially during this time of the projects coming up with the equipment, that we maintain having the engineer be their interim sanitation director. So that was their report. Obviously, that is the decision of the commission, but at this time, there's no reason to take action unless the commission wants to. That was just their report, and vote was unanimous. I will report too, and then Sean, if you want to, Sean called me this morning. I was at the chamber breakfast and meeting, but they had an incident at the sanitation shop this morning where a air tank actually exploded and caused some pretty good damage to the building. Luckily for the county and their employees, no one was injured. So if you get a report on that, it was probably a pretty loud incident that happened, but it was some pretty major damage to a couple of portions of the building. So Sean, you want to add anything to that?
Well, it was a shop outside that damaged
Thank
the
you.
front wall, and it was our shop outside that damaged the front wall, the bathroom, and part of our bay that has the pit and all in it. But we're in the process of getting it covered, and we've contacted the insurance company, and they're supposed to be out within the next 24 to 48 hours to send somebody out to do a claim on it.
All right, commissioners, I do have pictures on my phone I took this morning if you want to see them after the meeting. We appreciate Sean being so quick to get out there this morning and take care of it. All right, any other comments on that discussion item? All right, great. Moving on to business, we have the standby generator for the Russell County Health Department. Mr. Franklin?
Yes, sir, Commissioner. As you're aware, we received that $500,000 community development block grant, and the county appointed some people to be on that committee, myself, the chair, and the sheriff, as well as the city also has some personnel on that committee, and we were to come to a unanimous decision on how to spend that money. And one thing that everyone on the committee was 100% behind, so far they've been 100% behind everything, is adding a standby generator to the health department. Currently, we don't have any type of cold storage, reliable cold storage at the health department. And that's one reason we got behind on the vaccines to start with. On the weekends, if they have vaccines, they worry about, they can't leave them in the facility, they just take them to Lee County where they have a backup generator and leave them there. And then have to go back the next week and pick those back up and bring them back. So according to our folks, we've talked to at ADECA, a permanent generator on that facility is eligible under that funding. A temporary type generator would not be. And so what I would like to do is ask the commission to allow us to bid that. If something changes later on and they say that it's not funding, then we just won't do the purchase, but we're just trying to get ahead of the ball a little bit and go ahead and get the bids out, because we do expect this to exceed the minimum bid limits. And what I'd like to do is open those bids on Thursday, February the 25th, here in the commission chambers at 3 o'clock.
All right, All right, commissioners, you have the bid specs in your packet along with the date that Mr. Franklin just mentioned, February 25th at 3 p.m. And that would be, they would be opened at that time, reviewed, and you would have a report back for us at a later commission meeting for approval or rejection. All right, thank you, Mr. Franklin. I'm going to entertain a motion to approve to send out these bids.
So moved.
All right, Commissioner Costello moved, seconded by Commissioner Epps. Any
Question.
Yep.
Is this a entire building generator to carry air conditioning and so forth?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
It'll be 125 kW.
Do we need one that large?
Yes, sir. We've had a survey done on the facility.
I know if you want to run the air conditioning and all that, but to run lights, computers, and refrigeration equipment, it wouldn't take near that much.
I think
We'd have to rewire the building at that point, sir.
let me say this too, one of the big issues that came up in there was the fact that in the middle of the summer, if they were trying to pull a clinic off in there,
Okay.
without the HVAC, that would be a problem, so,
I just asked.
yeah, perfect. All right, any other discussion on that? You call the question?
District 3 Costello.
Yes.
District 5 Epps. Yes. District 2 Chambers. Yes. District 7 Screws.
Yes.
District 4 Reed.
Yes.
District 1 Lee.
Yes.
District 6 Corbett.
Yes. Next items up are a negative 30 degree freezer and the ultra low freezer. Do you want to take both of those, Bob?
Yes, sir. I'd like to bid both of those on the same bid. The 30-degree freezer is suitable for the Madeira vaccine. And after talking with, I'd hate to say we ought to try to squeeze one in, but we can still use that same bid price if we wanted to buy one for the Hurtsboro Clinic as well off of that funding. But I do want to bid both of those. We do not have the freezer capacity in Russell County to store any of either the Madeira or the Pfizer. The Pfizer does require an ultra-low freezer. Both of those freezers are relatively expensive. Together, they will exceed the bid law. And so I would also like to bid those with the same opening date as the generator on Thursday, February 25th at 3 o'clock, and then we'll present those findings back to the commission probably at the next commission meeting after that.
All right, you heard the request of the EMA director. We have a motion to approve that, send the bids?
I motion with the understanding that there would be an additional freezer bid for Hurtsboro. Can you amend that?
My request would be that we not do that because this is a committee and has to be a unanimous, but I don't see an issue with it. And once we bid it, we should be able to purchase another one off that same bid.
That's correct.
So moved without the recommendation.
So, motion to approve sending bids made by Commissioner Costello. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Chambers. In discussion, I'll have one point. If we do entertain the idea of purchasing one for Hurtsboro, Bob will have to look at the requirements of that as well, which will also be a generator for backup power and things like that. So a lot goes into that, not just buying a refrigerator, so freezer. All right, any other discussion? Call the question.
District 3 Costello.
Yes.
District 5 Epps.
Yes.
District 2 Chambers. District 7 Screws.
Yes.
District 4 Reed.
Yes.
District 1 Lee.
Yes.
District 6 Corbett.
Yes, thank you. Next up is the Homeland Security Grant Reimbursement. Mr. Franklin?
Yes, sir. The Wilson County Firefighters Association, in an effort to improve the communications for the volunteer fire departments in the county, elected to apply for a Homeland Security grant and run it through the Fort Mitchell Volunteer Fire Department to install a 150-foot self-supporting tower at their Station 3 located on Knuckles Road near Black Bottom Road. The tower has been installed and paid for. The grant and all of the paperwork, and I think you have copies of the canceled checks and the invoices in your packet, have been sent to State Homeland Security, and we have received that funding back. And so at this time, I would request that the commission reimburse the Fort Mitchell Volunteer Fire Department at $49,950.
All right, just to confirm, we do have that money already. So entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
All right, Commissioner Epps is approved. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Reed. Any discussion? Call the question.
District 3 Costello.
Yes.
District 5 Epps.
Yes.
District 2 Chambers. District 7 Screws.
Yes.
District 4 Reed.
Yes.
District 1 Lee.
Yes.
District 6 Corbett.
Yes, thank you. Commissioners, as spoke about on Monday night in the work session, due to the vacancy of the position of county administrator, at this time, I would like to entertain a motion that we appoint Ms. Paulette Colbert as the interim county administrator until a time a permanent administrator is named by the commission and voted on by the commission or approved.
So moved.
Second.
Question. How long are we looking at?
Till it's done.
That's a good question. We haven't made any movement on that, and since y'all jumped in so quick, that would include, if you will amend your motion, that will include the 10% incentive for being an interim, so.
Yeah, I thought we'd do that in a separate motion, but yeah, I would include that in my motion.
Cool.
And this is until the vacancy is filled, or until Ms. Colbert wants to retire.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll be able to move on this pretty quick, so. Any other questions or discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir, Commissioner Reed?
I think Ms. Paulette Carter, she don't want no car. She just won't buy it, so we make sure we need to give her a little bit more money. You think that'd be all right?
We can bring that up if you want to. I think at this point, we definitely need to get in the position. I mean, do you have why don't we go ahead and approve this motion, and if you have a different motion, we can bring that forward. All right, any other discussion? I call the question.
District 3 Costello.
Yes.
District 5 Epps.
Yes.
District 2 Chambers.
Yes.
District 7 Screws.
Yes.
District 4 Reed.
Yes.
District 1 Lee.
Yes.
District 6 Corbett.
Yes. Thank you. That motion approved unanimously.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Lee?
just to make a comment about the car. In most of all our other departments that have cars, they have the option of either taking a county vehicle or getting mileage. So as long as you get one or the other, I don't see any need in giving an increase in salary.
Good point. That should be covered by our personnel policy, so.
Yeah, actually, you usually come out a little better if you take the mileage, but you just got to keep up with it.
Well, I'll admit, in a lot of cases, I'm not a big fan of the mileage. We've had that abused in the past, I think.
You ain't got to worry about Paulette.
But I know Paulette won't, so I think we'll feel good about that. We've had one in the past that I think may have, so
Yeah,
that's
I know.
been years back, so. Any other? Okay, good. As far as the next item, courthouse access procedures, I mentioned this on Monday night. The reason I put this on here is there had been some question on when we swapped to a modified procedure for the courthouse opening when we went to the windows. We had done that in 2020 due to COVID. Some groups met, department heads met and discussed this. I attended a couple of those meetings, never really knew what the rules were. There were a couple of rules that floated up. One was kids being in the courthouse. We have kind of squashed those rules now. What I would like to ask now is that, as I did on Monday night, is that the commission allow the chair, whoever that is, to be able to, working with the department heads, to be able to make decisions for the status of the courthouse, short of closing it. That will not be, that's not in this motion. It will be to change the rules on letting people in due to COVID, and know that we will strive to actually get a policy or procedure on that we can bring to the commission. So I'd like to entertain a motion to allow the chair to do that.
I make the motion.
Commissioner Costello made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Reed. Any discussion? Or you call the question, please.
District 3 Costello.
Yes.
District 5 Epps.
Yes.
District 2 Chambers.
Yes.
District 7 Screws.
Yes.
District 4 Reed.
Yes.
District 1 Lee.
Yes.
District 6 Corbett.
Yes, thank you.
I just got a question. This would, if a commissioner sees something they want to address, they would call the chair, right?
Sure, that's
Okay.
correct, yes.
Because the chair will be listening to what commissioners suggest.
Yeah, and just so that not, and we talked about it Monday night, but just since we're here in the meeting today, one of the biggest issues is we have 2 official meetings a month, and obviously work sessions, and we have things that need to change on the fly, and we don't do that. We've already done that in some cases. I just don't know that we had the rules to back what we were doing, and now we do, because we have meetings of the department heads when we have those issues. We come together, talk about it, includes the EMA director, the sheriff, and all of the occupants and the department heads in this building, and we talk it through, and it's a consensus when the decision's made, but at some point, we need to be able to make it and not have to call a special commission meeting to do it. So that's all that was for.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, department heads and so forth, if you see something, be sure to call the chair. Like, I wished I'd have come down on that Monday when it was so cold and rainy, but I didn't get down to Tuesday, and it was the first of the month, and there was people lined up all the way around the courthouse. And I wish somebody inside the courthouse had seen that and called and said, y'all need to modify that with this cold, rainy weather, but.
Well, they were just following the rules.
I
too,
know,
but-
they were just doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, and I will say that Ms. Hope Hicks sent me some documents from another county that has gone through similar issues, so I'm going to look those over as well and hopefully bring something back to the commission that we can actually have in our hand. But the biggest thing is as commissioners, we need to know what the rules are as well, so that we can share them when people ask us, and the communication piece is something we're striving for, so.
Well, hopefully it won't be much longer, maybe by the end of the summer, that we can open up completely. I mean, I know we may always wear masks, might be doing that forever like they do in Japan, but at least I hope we can open up by then.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, we
Commissioner
will
Scruggs?
be informed of what changes. are made.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think I do need, if you will, before you leave your email address, I keep getting a bounce back, but the other commissioners can tell, I'm trying to communicate as much as I can with what's going on, because I know as a commissioner, just being in the chair position, one thing I've really trying to strive to do is communicate better, because I think it's important for us to know what's going on. So it's a good point. Next item on the agenda for under business is the human resources reporting structure. I think we have gone back and forth in this over the years, and it has come to our attention, and I talked about it on Monday night, that I think it is important for our coordinator of human resources to report directly to the county commission and not actually report to another department head, whether it be the administrator or any other department head. That is important because even the administrator and every other position falls under our personnel policy and must report their time and other things to the human resources person. So at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion that the human resources coordinator report directly to the commission and report any issues on their own leave to the chairman of the commission. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Lee. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Chambers. Any discussion?
Yeah, this is mainly to keep up with like leave time and sick leave and all that stuff to make sure it's kept a little more accurate than we've been doing.
Correct. Well, we just want to make sure we cross all the T's and dot all the I's for sure. So, all right.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Epps.
And I hope I'm in order. I believe when we first set up that human resource department, I thought that was part of the, at that time, that the human resource person was to report to the commissioners. may have not been said in those same words, but I was under the impression that that would happen. So as that's not a part of the minutes, I just want to make sure that we are not doing double work.
Yeah, Ms. Epps, I think, if we remember, we went over this in the past, and we couldn't find any minutes where we actually set up a Department of Human Resources. It was just a person. It wasn't a department. Couldn't find it in the minutes. We all thought we did, but it wasn't there, so.
I think it's a very important position, and to your point, Ms. Epps, you know, whether we have done it in the past or not, I think it's clear now what we're doing, and I think moving forward, we will know where that position reports to, so I think that's vital, so.
And that person will have the authority now to write certain policies, right? As far as how he or she, who it is, receives information from department heads and so forth about leave time and vacation time and all that stuff. Because if this person doesn't have a way to receive the information, then they're still not going to know what it is.
Yeah, well, obviously, we can't conflict with our personnel policy, but obviously communicating with the department heads and others is going to be key to the job. And I'm not proposing we change the job. I just propose we change the reporting structure.
I agree with you. It's already passed, I think. Didn't we vote on it?
Well, we haven't voted yet. All right, we call the question.
District 3 Costello.
Yes.
District 5 Epps.
Yes?
District 2 Chambers.
Yes.
District 7 Screws.
Yes.
District 4 Reed.
Yes.
District 1 Lee.
Yes.
District 6 Corbett.
Yes. Thank you, Commissioners. Last on the business item, we talked about Monday night, the county personnel policy revision. I know Commissioner Screws was pretty involved in this when we were doing the revision. What I'm requesting now is that the commission allow the chair to reconvene that committee of department heads, and Commissioner Screws obviously needs to be involved because he was involved in it before, so that we can get a new revision to the table for hopeful approval. We're well beyond where we need to be from a 94, 96 personnel policy. I think we need to get moving on that pretty quickly.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Screws.
the policy that we worked on were complete. The past attorney said that there was some problem with it. So when I went to the meeting, the only thing he wanted to change was that the Personnel Review Board could not bring a lawyer to the hearing. There was nothing else wrong with the policy.
Well, the good thing is, the current state we're in now with Ms. Hope Hicks, that is what she does for a living. So she'll be able to look at the revisions that we have in place. That was several years ago, so there's a good chance there's going to be things in there that we have to bring up to date now or change with current policies and current standards. So I think that it's time to bring it back forward. I'm willing as a chair to get it moving again and get it back before this commission body for approval. And obviously, we can lean our attorney for some guidance on that as
Why don't
well.
we just send Ms. Hicks a copy of the policy, let her read it, and whatever changes she has, then, we make those changes. But the policy was done, and Ms. Corbett can attest to it. We covered present, future things that came up. So again, there was nothing wrong with the policy. Only thing the attorney wanted was that the Personnel Review Board couldn't bring a lawyer.
Commissioner, the only copy I saw as a commissioner had a different county's name throughout it, where it was copied and pasted, and I don't have a problem with that. Why reinvent the wheel? But all I'm asking for is that we bring the department heads back together first and get things going. I have no problem with the attorney seeing that copy of it, and maybe it's been changed since then, but the one that was presented to me throughout the document had a different county and actually a university throughout it. So I think we just want to get it up to
If you're
speed.
gonna bring them back together, it'd be more feasible for her to make recommendations, so when we come back together, we'll know what we're working on.
I completely agree with you.
As long as that is Ms. Hicks is serving as our attorney, and that's her expertise, I don't have any problem with that she go over it. And because the main thing you want to do, you have to be careful. You have to protect the county, because the state law, there's so many state laws that protect county commissioners that you can override them if you put the wrong policy in there.
So why don't I restate, I'm entertaining a motion to pull back together a committee to work on the new personnel policy, and we will include sending the current draft over to the attorney, Hope Hicks, and ask her to work on that and report back to the commission.
So moved.
Thank you. Commissioner Lee, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Reed.
Discussion.
Commissioner Reed?
Mr. Chairman, we got a couple employees, 5 been missing in the personnel office. And I feel like we need to have some type of policy against that. If a person want to give a copy of their personnel file, they can get a copy, but they can't take the whole file. And that's exactly what we got going on now.
All right. I think we can work with Mr. Herring on that with our HR and make sure we get something in place for that, to make sure we're being smart with that paperwork. All right, good. Any other questions? All right, can you call the question, please?
District 3 Costello.
Yes.
District 5 Epps.
Yes.
District 2 Chambers.
Yes.
District 7 Screws.
Yes.
District 4 Reed.
Yes.
District 1 Lee.
Yes.
District 6 Corbett.
Yes, pass unanimous, thank you. Next up is the county engineer. We have, Mr. Sean has a budget transfer. Sean?
Good morning again. I'm requesting a budget transfer for the sanitation department. I'd like to decrease line item 561, construction equipment, by $55,000 and increase line item 234, our equipment repairs and maintenance, by $55,000. As I stated Monday night, this is due to a lot of our equipment and trucks getting older, and we're having to do a lot more servicing on them. This will not increase the budget. I'm just moving money from one line to the other.
All right. All right, you've heard the request by the engineer. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Epps. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Costello. Any discussion?
Just want to say this is, I know budgeting, like we always said, is a guessing game. Mighty early in the budget to start moving this kind of money, so just wanted to make that for the record.
Yes, this is due to several major repairs we've had. Our Mack truck at the transfer station, it was about a $14,000 repair. We've had 2 or 3 $7,000 repairs for transmissions and things like that, unexpected.
Yeah, we hadn't spent a whole lot of money on equipment for sanitation, and it's going to catch up with us one of these days.
I'm hoping that with the plan that Sean has going forward, if we can get this done, once we get our audit reports in, that we'll be able to move forward on that. So it'll be a good one. I can tell you the sanitation board, we're very excited about it on Thursday. All right, any other, next up we have the administrator. Tina, at this point, do you have anything for us?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Paulette, you're official now. Do you have anything for us? No, sir. Thank you. Next up will be the county attorney, Ms. Hope Hicks.
Yes, Commissioner, I would request that we go into executive session. I would make the oral declaration that the matters to be discussed in executive session would be matters regarding pending litigation, controversies not yet being litigated, but imminently likely to be litigated or imminently likely to be litigated if the commission pursues the proposed course of action. I would make the declaration that this is an exception under the open meetings laws and is appropriate.
All right. You heard the report from the request by the county attorney to go into executive session due to pending litigation. We will likely reconvene after executive session and either take action or adjourn from that point. So we will adjourn back from the table. Do we have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Lee, seconded by Commissioner Reed. Any discussion? Call the question.
District 3 Costello.
Yes.
District 5 Epps.
Yes.
District 2 Chambers. Yes. District 7 Screws.
Yes.
District 4 Reed.
Yes.
District 1 Lee.
Yes.
District 6 Corbett.
Yes.
Do we have the use of the probate judge's courtroom?
I did not check that. Max, can you go check that for us real quick? If not, we'll redirect upstairs. So we will be back in here after. Do any commissioners have any discussion that is outstanding they need to talk about before we go into executive session?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Epps.
I have a recommendation that we have a young man that finished Central High School that has gone pro, and he has also earned the 2021 Super Bowl for this year. And I think that we should recognize the young man through a proclamation through the county commission, and I would have the information for the next meeting for us to vote on and have that information for you.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? All right, good. Any announcements that we need to announce before we go into executive session? All right, we're staying in executive session, and we'll be back as soon as it's over with.
That's my email.
See, one had the no S.